lot of people think that life has a deadline on growth, that if something isn't perfected by a certain age, then that door is closed. Today's episode is about why that's simply not true. I'm sitting here with my dad, Estuardo Ramirez. He's 57 years young, and he's in his 2.0 era, a season shaped by experience, wisdom, humility, and a deeper sense of purpose. He immigrated from Guatemala, built a successful residential construction business from the ground up with custom homes all over Southern California, faced challenges after the 2008 housing crisis, and yet remained steadfast, nimble, and ultimately redefined what success looked like in his life. And now in a chapter he never really planned for, he's working alongside us as the sage and critical CFO of our growing family-run personal injury firm. This conversation isn't just for people rebuilding their lives. It's also for anyone who wants to learn from real experience without having to live through every hard lesson themselves. Whether you're starting over or simply open to learning from someone who's had to, this conversation is for you. Welcome, Dad, to Art of Purpose.
Oh, thank you for having me one more time.
Yeah. Well, this one's fun, and there's so much. You and I have spent a lifetime talking. I tell this to people all the time, like, hey, man, my dad's my best friend, and I'm his.
Yes, you are.
And we spent a lifetime talking about so many things, and yet we can always sit down and talk the whole day about anything else, right? And so this is going to be a small portion of conversation, because I really want to get to some of the sort of like the firm things. But I do want to give people a little bit of background on your life. We've talked about it on some other stuff that we've done, but never really on Art of Purpose. We did one in Spanish that we put up on YouTube once, but nothing on Art of Purpose. So welcome. And, we talked about the 2.0 stage, right? Like, hey, better. I've always said that life doesn't begin until 50. It's just, I believe it's like after, all this wealth of experience, that's when life starts. It works two ways. One, because I'm not 50 yet, so that means I'm a baby, right? And then for you, it's, this is where it gets going, right? So how do you feel about that?
Great. Thank God, I feel awesome. So you are my younglings.
So as we get started, can you tell everybody kind of what's your role here at the Kenny Ramirez Law Firm?
Well, as a CFO, I basically see over all the finances, all the money, from bookkeeping to finances, to see projections, to make sure that we have the money that we need to keep running the business. Right. And when we have extra money, what we do with the money, how to reinvest in the business. And it's been really exciting.
Yeah.
I never thought I was going to be doing something like that,
Yeah.
So
it's it's funny because like CFO, it's like beyond just like bookkeeping and accounting, right? That's like its most like basic sort of like layer. But one of the things that I tell everyone in terms of like what my dad's doing is like financial strategy is the most important thing. That really sort of redefined when you came aboard, is sort of how do we plan ahead and make decisions based on that, right? Be able to grow our business because we are strategizing about finances. And so that's been really cool. So thanks, Dad. All right, so going back, let's start with you growing up in Guatemala. Okay, so let everybody just sort of know what was life like? Where did you grow up? What part of Guatemala? And, what was that like compared to the U.S.?
Well, I feel like my life has been really a roller coaster. I mean, it's been really fun.
Yeah.
Ups and downs, right? Mm-hmm. Exciting parts. I think one of the parts is my life in my country. I come from a gated community that is called Colonia Santa Fe. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it doesn't have a very good reputation.
Yeah. He's saying gated community very sarcastically.
Yeah. They said it's private. community.
Yeah.
It's private of water, private of...
Yeah. So in Spanish, because it works in Spanish, it doesn't work in English, right? But like in Spanish, it's like it's de privado, right?
Yeah.
And so in English, the way essentially translate is it's a wordplay in Spanish, but basically it's like that. People call it a private, but really it really is deprived of food, water, and all these things. So it's a very difficult place to have grown up in, lacking many basic and common, just human resources that we certainly take for granted here in the United States that we're fortunate to have, but not other countries have.
Yeah, and that wasn't that time. I'm pretty sure it's better now. But it was... but regardless of that, I think it was a very... fun place to live as a child, right?
You don't know any better.
Yeah. I mean, I think we enjoy, enjoy the time growing there.
Yeah. They call it the land of the eternal spring.
Yes.
Right? So it's beautiful weather.
It's beautiful weather. It is.
Yeah. One thing that I know and that I wanted you to share just sort of with our listeners, because I think it's one of the things that begins to form your life from a very early age, is that you lost your father at the age of 13, when you were 13.
Yes.
You're the oldest of three boys, and at 13 years old, you found yourself in the unexpected position of being the head of the household. And in Guatemala, that really meant that you were the head of the household at 13 years old, and now it was your responsibility to provide for your family, including your mom, right? Can you talk to us a little bit about that and what that sort of a whole experience... What was the responsibility that was put on you, so we understand, and sort of what did that do to you?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think in my country that's not so surprising, right? There's a lot of kids that need to help the family because there's not enough income to support the family. And in my case was mostly my father, before he died, he took a loan on the house, which thank God we have house. Then we need to pay the loan. I mean, my mother, she didn't work before, so she don't know what to do. And she started to work, but she didn't make much money, really. So she asked me, and she said, you know what, I'm going to need to, well, now that I think she didn't ask me.
So yeah, what did she tell you?
Well, she told me, that she can give me, she can have me at school no more. So actually, she need me to go and work and help with the house.
So essentially, you're gonna have to leave school at 13 and go make some money to help.
And go make some money, and not for me, for the whole family, because I have another two younger brothers, which if I was 13, I mean, the other one was like 5, 6, and one really young, like 1 or 2 years old. So, they can't help.
Yeah, no, they couldn't, of course not.
Yeah.
And so now, do you remember sort of what was the first jobs that you had, and what were you doing? And I mean, it's a 13-year-old kid. How did you feel, and like, what were you doing?
Oh my goodness! Yeah, the first job, it was hard. We call it albañiles, masonry, or I don't know. Masonry, yeah. Okay. Then I was obviously a helper, and but 13 years old, it's carrying blocks, bring concrete, and mix. My goodness,
backbreaking work.
I almost died the first year, the first day, not year. I wish. And the thing is, it was my uncles.
Okay. Your uncles.
My mother, brothers. I think that's what I really could work over there, right? Because even though they tried to treat me as any helper, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
Really, but eventually I start to learn and try to help. But to be honest with you, it's a job that I try to stay away until now.
Yeah.
I didn't like it so much.
It was a traumatic. You're like, yo, that's in the past. I'm never doing that again.
I thought it has to be something better.
Yeah. Yeah, and how did you feel? I can't imagine that. So like, how did you feel when you were told you had to leave school and you had to start working, and now you're working, right? And maybe you didn't know what to feel before you started working, and then now you're working. You're like, well, this is kind of what was going on in your mind, and what kept you. You had to, but like, what kept you going still? And were you angry? Were you upset? Were you bitter? What did you tell yourself?
Yeah, on the beginning, honestly, I was, very sour.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand why my life, why I have to do this, right? I mean, I see all my friends going to school, and well, yeah, it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
One thing though, I always wanna to go to school, so I continue to go at nighttime.
Mm.
So not right away after a couple of years probably I decided I want to have education, so I don't want to be that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, for your question, I feel bad for a while. I feel really bad until I understood that that's what I have to do, and that that's what I have to do. Try to do it at the best of my abilities, right? I mean, try to change my attitude towards work, because in the beginning didn't like it so much.
Yeah. No, I get it. And it's clearly education, you said, was important to you, even, and you understood that it's something that you wanted to have, and you went back to school after a few years at night, and you would seriously work all day and then go to school at night.
My goodness.
And I think that's something that for you and mom, for us, or when we were growing up, that you guys really pushed education for us, right?
Yeah, because for once, it's like in my case, I didn't have the opportunity, right? Even though I fight through it, but it's not the same, I mean, when you have to work at day and go school at night, especially for the kind of work, right?
Physical
work,
work.
then you are done, when you go to school.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to try to maintain both things at the same time.
Yeah.
Even though I keep trying, I didn't never quit. I just keep trying and trying and trying, right?
That's why I think in our lives, I feel so very fortunate as well, Dad. And like we joke with you all the time, right? You have this joke about, well, I'll say the joke secondly, but that I just feel very fortunate that, we've had you and mom as our parents, and that you guys have, guided us along the way, and the opportunities, thank God, that you guys have created for us. Because I think, you're one of the smartest, if not the smartest person that I know. And I know a lot of really smart people. And you see those, how like everybody's sort of life, sometimes it's just different, because like you didn't have that opportunity, right? But had you been in my shoes and had the same father that I have, right, that this, whole law firm would already be built and would be huge and would be big, because you would have done it, right? And so it's one of those where it helps me put things in perspective for me as well. So be grateful even in moments that are difficult, because if you were able to get through all those difficulties in your life, I can definitely get through these difficulties that are relatively speaking, but they're really not the same as the ones that you did. So thank you.
You're very welcome, Papi.
All right, so there's one story. I don't want to stay too long here, because there's a lot more that we want to talk to. But there's one story that, because I think it talks a lot about who you are then and into the future, and who you've always been. That you're always looking for ways to like be efficient and get better and do things quicker, but high quality. I know that still when you were in Guatemala and you were very young, still a teenager, you started working at this one company where they're like building like shelves, bookshelves, closets, right? Yeah. And you invented a device that, years later, somebody else certainly commercialized, and they made a lot of money out of it, but wasn't around at that time. Can you talk to us a little bit about like sort of what you were doing? What was that job? And then how you invented this device?
Yeah, I think we all have a different paths in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was my path, and my path was to try to build something different for you guys. And I am so thankful to God for that. But what happened was that I really didn't like to be, that the work that I was doing. So
Right.
I remember the one time in that job,
The masonry stuff.
a group of kids, young guys, right, older than me, obviously, right, teenager, maybe in their 20s, but younger, right.
Yeah. You were a teenager.
Yeah, my uncles, they were older, right. So they came and they started to build,
welding.
put the whole structure and wow, I used to see them and used to, wow, that's a really nice job.
That's cool.
But I don't have a clue, right? One afternoon they stayed late, right, working. And one afternoon, one of the guys asked me if I can stay up and help them after work.
Mm-hmm.
I was happy, It was, yeah, sure. It was, and I really liked that what they were doing. So later on, not too late, like maybe a few months down the road, because honestly, I didn't want to work in that anymore.
Yeah, I was killing you.
But I keep going, right? I mean,
you have to.
I didn't stop. So, a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, told me there was an opening where he was working, and it was a welding job.
Mm-hmm.
Not the structures, but they do furniture, like tables, chairs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then eventually they moved to do closets.
Mm-hmm.
We go install closets and homes, and it's funny now that I remember, because I think all the ideas come from need.
Yeah.
Right. When you accept the challenge and you, instead of complain about what's going on in your life, it's not fair,
Mm-hmm.
When you accept that that's your path and do the best that you can, then I took it on me to pay that mortgage, because it really took us a lot of years to pay that thing. I used to work just to pay the interest on that loan. So that was the thing that took me, and that time we used to work per day, right? They pay us per day, but
right.
the owner decided, that to put us by contract, which is not that common. It wasn't that common in my country at that point. But a lot of people left even the company, because they said, no, we don't want to work like that.
Right. They want to get paid.
Yeah, and I
salary.
see it as different. I see it as like, well, okay, I can make more money then.
Right.
Then I took it, and eventually that's what took me to that story that I want to build more and do more of these things so I can make more money.
Right. The more you made, the more closets you made, the more money you could make. You weren't limited by like a salary anymore, which is what other people didn't like, because they just wanted to clock in, sort of do a little bit of work and clock out. But you saw it as, oh, well, if I work more, I'll make more.
Yeah. Then what happened is that then something that it took us a lot of time was screwing things, right? Because we have to drill and we have to put sockets and we have to screw by a hand, Then that's when the idea come, right? I cut one screwdriver, put it into a drill, then I start to.
Yeah.
Then it's funny, because eventually I used to do 3 times more than anybody in the company.
Yeah.
So I was making enough money, right?
Yeah.
Good money for my country, good money. Yeah. I was really young. Maybe I was like 15 years old,
Yeah.
Then eventually that's how we ended up paying the
mortgage.
the mortgage or the loan that my father has taken, and we saved the house. So thank God my mother get to live and to have a house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but again, I think it was because that need, and I took it on me to, okay, then, what's the exit over here, right? I can quit this thing. This is what I have to do. Then let's go all the way and
figure it out
and pay it, with not help, right? Not give some part. No. I was little, but I was kind of smart.
And you took on that responsibility. I think is a big thing, even at that age, that you accepted that. I love what you said. You sort of accept circumstances as they are in the moment, but that doesn't mean you can't make them better, right? Exactly. But it wouldn't have helped you in the moment to wallow in that, right? And we all feel that. You said you felt that when it started, right? And
oh my goodness.
But at some point we have to go, hey, like circumstances are what they are, whether they're good or bad, and we've all experienced both. What can I do to improve now my lot in life or these circumstances moving forward? Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Then instead of I'm gonna help my mother, right? Giving her some money. My goal was different, I'm gonna pay these things, so we don't have it anymore, awesome. Right?
Yeah, I see. Yeah,
and that it was a blessing, really, because it teach me to work, to work for a goal, and it's fun because it wasn't really a goal for me, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't that I want something, that I want to buy something. Just I want to help my mother.
Yeah.
And I think it helped me to work for a goal.
Yeah.
To have a goal and fight and reach that goal, right? Because I see all my peers, all the people that were working, I don't see that in any of them, right? That's why I get to make 3 times more than anybody, and nobody really tried to
get close.
Because they were fine with the
just daily
salary
grind. Yeah. I think that also growing up, that's something that, and you continue to do for us even to this day. It's just like, hey, what's the goal? What are you working towards? What's your vision? Whether it's an annual thing or in life, right? Or this season, what's your goal? So I definitely see that in our lives how that's played, and I am like that, right? But I learned it obviously from you and mom as well. And the concept of taking on responsibility, I love, because that's also something you've taught me. And it's like because it feels heavy. It can feel heavy, but then you also just get used to that, and not as like a bad thing. Actually, like I enjoy taking on more responsibility because it gives me more to work for, right? Like I have more purpose even. And I don't know, I've always loved that as well. And just sort of as we close this part of our time here, that story is for everybody to know that, you paid off the mortgage, you paid off the loan. And I think most people would go, hey, the house is mine. Yeah. I paid it off, right? It's mine. And in fact, that's what your mom said too, right? Your mom was like, look, son, I mean, you're 15, 16 years old, whatever you were, and like the house is paid off. You paid for it because you found a way to make more money and did it because you were doing it for your mom and for your siblings. You didn't even put yourself first. And your mom said, okay, look, hey, it's your house, right? And it is because you paid it. But that you said no, and you told her it's hers. And that when she passed away, you held true to that too, and then gave it to your brothers. Right, you're like, I have no vested interest in this. I don't want it. It's not something I'm keeping. Yes, you paid for it, but it's not something you have. And I think that says a lot about you, and sort of closes that end of that story where it's like, yeah, you work for someone else. You wanted to help them, bless them, and speaks volumes about you.
Yeah, especially because in my country, if you have a house, that's a huge thing. Well, over here too, right? But over there, you usually buy a house and you pay for the house, so you don't have to continue paying mortgage. Well, in that time, I don't know. I think today might be the same system as over here. So somebody that has a house, and I want my mother to have a house because otherwise, she will be without house. I mean, so that was probably my main thing. Not zero interest in the house. I don't really have interest. I mean, per se, right? And I told my mother that when my brothers were little, right, smaller than me. So my father have another land, so give the land to one and the house to another. You know, I am old. I know how to work already. I can make money. You know, so. And when she was about to die, and she told me that you know, the house is yours, I told her no. I told you from the get go. That's how it's gonna be, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that was decades later. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't gonna go back on my word, right? That's what I said, so I'm gonna keep my word. And you know, but I'm happy that she lived. She passed away, but she lived in a house and she fixed the house and she do you know so many things in the house. So that made me happy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you, Dad, for sharing that. And you decide at, you know, what is it, 20 years old? No, 22 years old to come to the United States along with Mom. You have a 2-year-old in tow, me.
A beautiful
And
2-year-old.
I changed your life, man.
Yes, indeed, you did.
And you're welcome. I'm the cause, not just kidding. And so, you know, ultimately, why come to the United States? You're sort of making a life for yourself already in Guatemala. Whether, you know, it wasn't the most glamorous thing, but you were able to provide for your wife and your son. And Mom can talk about what actually provide means, because my mom, mom's a little princess, but you know, but you guys were creating a life for each other, right?
Yeah.
And you decided to come to the United States. Why?
Well, at that point in my life, in my country, I was already doing what I wanted to do, which was build structures. You know, a metal.
You're 22 years old now.
At 22 years old, yeah, I have a crew. I was, you know, I mean, it's that happening a lot, I think, in my country because
that's almost 9 years of like working already, and you know, then you built from 13 years old to 22, right? And so now you're running crews, you're actually building structures, you're the one in charge. You're like,
And it's a funny story too how I started to do that, but I'm pretty sure that's for another day. But the point is, at that point, I was making good money in my country, really, you know. But I think in the heart of it, we want something better for you, because, like you said, when you was born, you know, it changed my world. I think I have my family and I work for them, but when I have my first kid, that is you, it just want better. You know, I don't want you to live in the same, and to have the same life as I have, right?
Yeah.
Even though, thank God, I think my life has been good, but I want something better. You know, I think in my heart, even though I was maybe young, I knew there was better. I knew that life is a better things, you know, it's a better way
There's more.
of life, right? And that was the whole idea to try to gamble, you know, on this thing, because really...
it's not promise.
No, it's not promise, and I really have a good job. It's not like I don't have a job or I don't know what to do, you know, or right?
Right.
I mean, I think I was kind of start to build something over there too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. That the only
You had
thing
established a foundation there, at least, where you can build off of.
Yeah, the only thing is I really have bad habits, you know, like drinking, smoking, and those things.
A lot of vices.
Yeah, and that's what I don't want for you, right? Because that was the atmosphere over there, you know. I live in that. And that's how I grow. And my fear was that I don't want you to grow in that thing. You know, I want, again, you know, I think it's a better way to live, right? Better habits, better places.
Yeah.
And seems like USA was that place, right?
Yeah. And so you come to the United States, and I want to talk just a little bit about that. It's a little bit about mentality, Dad. You know, one of the first places that you started looking for jobs was in the Home Depot like corners, right? They call it in Spanish, las esquinas.
Yeah.
All right. One of the first places there, and it was like, hey, I want to do construction. Don't know anybody here. Somebody told you, hey, like you can like go there in the Home Depot parking lots, basically, and look for a construction job there. What's the? I know the story, so I want you guys to I want you to tell us of how you got that first job there, the first time that you went. Who asked you to come? You don't need to say their names, right? But like friends asked you to come, and then what happened? I think that story again is like so much representative of who you are, and like let's go.
Yeah, it's interesting because now that you mention in my life, I have made a few changes, right, in some points of my life, like to come over here, right? But one of my
So you're in like in 5.0, not 2.0.
when I come, I know how to weld, right? So
Right.
I know the trade. I can really work on that. So I kind of
Right.
first thing
So
is
you could weld, but now it was like, oh, you got to do construction. That's something different,
well
or anything else.
well the thing is obviously when I come, one of the things it was a time of recession. It was 91, so it was a recession at that point. So it was no work. When I came, the place that I came, it was few months and none of them have work. So I remember asking everyone, okay, where can I work? Because I come ready to make money.
Yeah, it's land of milk and honey. Ready to, it's like, yo, what is it? What is this place that everyone talked about? Land of opportunity.
Exactly. So
it's just like waiting for gold.
Yeah, I don't want to be like the what they say, right? That somebody came to United States and they think the money come from like a rain over here, right?
Yeah. Grew on
So
trees.
yeah, and somebody came and he said he saw a $20 bill on the floor and he said, I gotta start tomorrow, So no, I said if I find the dollar, I get it, So I remember that I started to looking for work, right? I mean, I went to the street and I find places where they were welding, and I asked them, hey, do you have work? And it was one place. They didn't offer me. It was no job really, but they told me they paid $9, or I don't remember exactly how much, but it was basically the minimum. Then I start to go work at the corner, right? And
Home Depot parking lots.
they pay the same, for doing. And one of my things at that point is that I have already 9 years welding, something like that. 8 to 9, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I don't know. I think I have more. I have close to 10. But the thing is, my country, they say that after 10 years welding, you start to run the risk to losing your sight. I don't want to lose my sight, So I said, you know what? If I keep doing this, I'm gonna lose my sight. I get paid the same over here, so I might as well learn something else. Then that's how I decided I don't know, do that no more, and I'm gonna go and learn, construction, this other thing, right? But the story that you mentioned is that a friend of mine, helped me, and he took me to one of the corners, and I remember it was in Oxnard. And this story, he took me actually farther. I don't remember. Circle Valley, I think, is the street. It's really far. And him and another friend, they took me there. And when we have already 2 hours waiting and nothing.
Okay.
So one truck stopped, somebody need a helper, and they get close to them, and it wasn't really
all the guys that were there.
My bad, it wasn't really bad. It's just that they start to talk to him. How much? What are we gonna do? And then I opened the door and I get seat, and I said, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And I remember my friends because they I knew one, right? I didn't know the other one. The other guy told my friend, "What? That friend of yours really was really
Bold.
quick, you know. It was really bold."
So they were haggling on price, and you were like, "I don't care what you're paying. It's a job. I'm taking
Get
it."
that. But I think again, it's responsibilities. You know, it's that I have you, I have your mom. I have to bring some money. You know, it doesn't matter if they give me
Peanuts. Yeah. You gotta bring
peanuts.
some-
I have to get something. You know, and I think that's it's funny thing in life, right? When you take responsibilities, I think that push you to do more than what you, if you don't have responsibilities, will do, right?
Yeah.
I want a good pay. I want a good atmosphere. I want a good
Yeah.
when you need it, you need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how I start to work in the corners. Yeah.
Out of the Home Depot parking lots, started getting jobs.
Yeah.
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 And there's this other sort of quality of working nonstop. I share in a recent one that we talked about a video that we did, which is sort of like the lessons learned over the last like 10 years of business and practice. It was our last episode. And Sharon was talking, and we were talking, and I was like, her question was, why is it that it seems that you just sort of like work nonstop? Where did you get that from? And some of it I think is innate, yes, and you develop it, but a lot of it, is watching you do it as well, right? And you've always sort of had this like relentless work ethic, and very practical. If something needs to be done, I'm gonna do it. I can, someone can sit and like complain and think about like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to get it. I don't want to. You're more like, okay, it needs to be done. Then we're just gonna do it, right? Where did you get that from?
I will say, that again, my blessing in disguise, right, was start to work young, because I learned to work at very early age, and I think to have responsibilities, they're gonna push you to do, and again, there is a combination, because one thing that for example, what I told you, right? I used to work, and I have experience already. I know how to build these things, and I know I can do a living with it, right? But I always been willing to learn something else.
Something new.
It's something new. And I think that combination, right? To one responsibility, I have to provide, I have to bring bread, right?
Yeah.
And if I have the opportunity to learn, I will take it, and that's the way I see it, right? Well,
Yeah.
they pay me to learn something else.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I love the idea, again, we mentioned it already, but like of responsibility as well. It's like, if you're trying to get stronger, right? The only way that you're going to get stronger is by putting on more weights. Like if you're working on squats or bench pressing, right? You can stay at a certain amount, but you're not going to get stronger if you just keep benching that same weight, right? You're only going to get stronger if you add more weight to it. And so I guess similar as well with something like responsibility as well. Like you're going to be able to take on more. I'm not saying like, oh, take everything on, right? But I think like you take on when the time is there, you take it on willingly, and you can get stronger from that as well.
And that's interesting, because I tell all of you guys, right? You guys have been a blessing in my life, because you guys push me to do things that
Here's more weight.
I can't even imagine that I could do, right? Because first were you, then your brother, then your sister, then your other sister. I have 4 kids.
Yeah.
And a very young age. So
Welcome.
yeah, it's a blessing, because again, I think I was young, strong. I can work,
you did it.
and I try to do the best on my abilities, right? To put you guys in a better position, right? And the best position possible.
So I want to sort of fast forward now a little bit to this transition period. Again, I think there's so much in your life that we could talk about, but I want to get to this point here, because from parking lots in Home Depot looking for jobs to eventually you built this residential construction business. You built custom homes as the lead general contractor all over Southern California and in some of the wealthiest areas that we know, like Beverly Hills, Woodland Hills, all these areas. You go through that period. There's sort of ups and downs as well. It's after the '08 crisis, all construction stopped, right? So like if that's your area, that stopped completely because there was no more buildings. So like, what do you do from that? And so you then went back a little bit into like, hey, I need to find jobs anywhere and anything, right? We had a bunch of like side businesses and stuff that we were doing, you and I as well, just selling stuff and trying to be entrepreneurial in different ways. And that helped me in my life as well. It's just like sales unknowingly. I didn't want to like selling cars and doing all that stuff. But it's funny how, as you said, there's been different changes in your life, right? Yeah. And then we reach this stage. You have your children open up a firm, working at her firm, and then sort of I approached you and asked for your help, right? Can you tell us how like that started? What was that? How did it start? How long it was supposed to be about working here in the office? And how did you feel? Because this came out of left field, right? Like you're construction and you've done other stuff completely. Like, were you even thinking ever at any point like, hey, I'm gonna go help Kenny out at the firm, right? I'm gonna go work with Sharon.
It's again, it's those things that you have to take life as it comes, right? Mm-hmm. Because I wasn't really working so much, right? But a contract that I get, I can make enough money to live. Because you guys, you all are already, you all
working,
making your own money. I don't have to support you anymore. So, with one contract, I can live probably a year.
Yeah.
So, I was working like maybe half days. Mm-hmm. And I was making good money because obviously I have experience. I know I have crews. I have I have everything that I need right at this point. Even if it's a more remodeling or it's a kitchen or it's it's not a big deal really for me. Mm-hmm. After building houses, and those are a small project really. But when you asked me to come and help you, first of all, I wasn't sure if you were sure about what you were asking. I didn't know if I really can help you, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, but I want to help you guys. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think that was, a big change, not only in trade, right? To do something completely different because I never see myself working in one office, right? Mm-hmm. But money-wise, because I remember that I have to kind of cut my salary, which I can because I really don't need that much money, right?
Right.
So it's a big change, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And one of the first things I remember is the first day that I came, right? Mm-hmm. And after half day, I thought, I don't think I can do this thing.
Why?
Because I have to be in one office. I am used to be outside, drive. Even though if I have a project, if I have to stay the whole day and the whole night, I don't care. But the other day, I don't want to go to work or I don't,
Yeah.
As far as I meet my deadlines.
You were in entire control of your schedule.
And when I eat something, I just grab my car and go eat something, Mm-hmm. Or I planning, right? I'm going to go buy material at this point and I'm going to eat here and I'm going to... So it's a different thing. When I come over here, it's...
Yeah, being in an office is completely different, right?
Oh, my goodness. Let me see. There is a wall over here, another wall, and another wall. Okay, cool.
Hey, man, we got windows. So
Yeah, no, especially mine. I have a beautiful view and, I have the conference room in front of me, which is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
But it's still.
No, you worked outside. You were not a house cat, right?
No. I honestly feel like I don't think I can do that. But I remember we talked about that I'm gonna help you. How much?
It was 2 months.
Yeah, 2 or 3
months. Yeah, because it was so what it was is we were getting busier, the office, Sharon and I, and we have clients. We have the law that we were actually representing clients, litigating cases, helping our clients out, and we were getting more and more clients. We were getting busier and busier, and then there's the business aspect of everything, marketing, and all these sort of choices. I mean, decisions that we had to make, and our time was becoming less and less, and then it was like, we were really having a hard time staying up to sort of date with like finances as well, right? Because you work all day and then you need to do like all night doing all that stuff as well, right? So you just don't have time. So we approached you and said, hey, like, Dad, can you help us out? Initially, it was just like sort of come in, help get our books in order, keep them sort of, get everything in order from that end, right? So it feels like we're not able to dedicate all the time that we need to do that. And that needs to be as up to date as possible. And so it was going to be for a couple of months, just coming in and helping us, basically sort of just going to help us back up, and then we'll take over from there. Now, I at the same time, the reality was twofold, right? It's sort of, and we've talked about this, but sort of in the back of my mind, it was like, I was hoping that you'd like it, right? I was like, that you'd like it enough. But I'm just never gonna force anybody. Like, I'm not forcing anybody to come over here. Like, I have obviously a vision and plan for what this office is, and sort of we forge ahead. But it was like, hey, maybe he might like it, right? But then also, and Sharon and I both sort of on the same page on this, is that the work that you were doing, even as someone who was in charge of, it was your business and construction, you were still, there was a lot of physicality to it. As well, and you're still a young man, but we're me I'm 36 years old, and I go, I feel young until like I'm like, yeah, my whole body hurts, dude. Right? Yeah. But we didn't want you to keep doing that physically, from a physical standpoint, right? And it was still physical, right? So that's sort of the ask for, it was only for 2-3 months. So the first day was tough. How did the next few months go? So what did you see? Well, what is it that happened during that period?
I think, Papi, first of all, thank you for the opportunity, because I mean, it's for me, it's a great opportunity, right? And I am really thankful for that. That time I already was thinking, I cannot do this for a longer period, more longer, because I start to feel the toll, right? My knees hurt, it's not that I don't want to, it's that my body, I was having some problems. So I was starting to think, I'm going to have to do a change, right? But I don't know what change is that, right? I think if I just, because I am a contractor, right? I just going to contract people, but I end them up working, helping, pushing the job or something, right?
Because as much as you hire people, like, you are really good at what you do, and so like you doing it is still better than others doing it, right? And so you'd want to do it. I get it.
Yeah. So that train of thought already was on me. So it's kind of like where I was welding, right? And that's gonna hurt my eyes, So I'm gonna have to learn something else. I think it was kind of the same thing over here again, right? But a lot of years later, right? 30-something years later, that I need to do a change. I just don't know what it is. And when you asked me, then first of all, I thought, go on, because I love you guys. I never saw myself in one office, because I always like, for example, to have my computer, but I don't know how to use most of the things, And I am a guy that I like to have, a phone,
latest tech.
The latest tech, my iPad too. But I just,
you don't quite explore all of its capabilities.
No. I just few things, right? And I don't really, I find a use for it, but it's not less than 1%, really, right? So I thought, how, I don't really know these things, right? How are we going to integrate over here, right? But I remember after the 3 months that I feel like, yeah, we still need to keep moving this thing, right? And like to your question, what happened after that first day? I think it was like a week probably then eventually I start to get into what I supposed to do, right? And it's like any other job, right? You have to learn, and as soon as you learn, you get busy and you don't feel the day too.
Yeah. Flies by.
And yeah, the other thing is, thank God, it's again God, because when I was young, I wanna have education, and I study, and one of the things that I studied was accounting.
This is when you were going at night and doing all that stuff.
So I was really studying that, not because I really can care less about accounting. I just want to go to university, right? And that was my path to go to a university. So that's what I was doing it, right? Not really. I was making way more money than what an accountant can do in my country, right? So, but when I start to run my business, I noticed that it helped me, because I kind of know how to, take care of the money. And I think I never have a problem in that, right? Running my business. Always were smooth, always money-wise, always, we never pay labors, Friday, every single time that my company was open, we pay.
Everybody got paid.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Not like we don't have money.
There was no IOUs or anything, no.
No, because we take care of the money.
And the money, and you also, connected to that, you also care very much about your employees and didn't want them to go home without money.
No. I live that, we work to pay our rent, especially over here, right? And food on our plates, our family. And it's horrible because it happened to me, right? That Friday you work the whole week, it was really hard work. And Friday, sorry guys, there's not going to be pay, we don't have money.
Yeah.
No, I decided I'm never going to do that with my employees. And thank God.
Yeah.
We never did that.
That's
so
awesome. Yeah.
But again, I think it was a combination, and I am obviously was so many years ago, right?
Yeah.
But I kind of have an idea of numbers, right? And
very good, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with numbers.
You were disciplined
really.
with that too, because I remember growing up and at the end of the day, you had your computer, you'd be inputting the numbers or your notebook, and you'd be doing like certain math and like putting it all in there, and you were always very organized with money. And like you said, your accounting was always current, was up to date. The numbers didn't miss. Just with numbers, you've always been really good too. Like I remember being on site with you, and let's say if you're doing some stairs or something, you were always figuring out the angles and the math, and you'd be doing it there like on a piece of paper or like even on the wood, you'd be like writing stuff out and like figuring out the degrees and the angles. And I'd be like, what in the world, man? Just tell me where I need to, put the nails. I'll hammer. You think all that stuff out. So, you were talking about some of the doubts that you had, whether it was like after the first day of working here at the office, just like, hey, this feels strange, this feels weird. Maybe it's a little suffocating even, like I've never been in this sort of environment. Maybe doubts about like, do I have the skill set to do this? Am I going to be able to work with technology? Because I haven't really like explored it like that deeply.
Yeah.
But you also brought strengths, right? The strengths like this financial accounting background. You had your business and a very successful business as well. And, it's all these things that certainly I remember when, from my end, it was just like, we're lucky to have Dad here, right? For me, it was like, shoot, think about all the wealth of knowledge that it comes with Dad being here. And on top of all that, you have the most enthusiastic, positive attitude, and it just sort of uplifts everybody. Like I just, want you here all the time, right? And so it was for us a huge get. But it's nice to hear from you, because I think people feel like that sometimes, right? It's like and maybe sometimes they don't have the support from people, right? To encourage them in that way. But I think it's helpful for people to know that, like, no, you have value. And even like in this 2.0 or 5.0 right, era of our lives, that you have such valuable experience, and there are things certainly for you to learn. But going back to the attitude that you had of like, hey, like, circumstances are what they are now, like, let's move forward, right? You've become really proficient and will continue to be more proficient with technology, right? And that hasn't been an obstacle and won't be an obstacle. But everybody has strengths that they could bring to whatever new industry or job that they have, and to lean into those.
Yeah, exactly. I think, especially at my age, I find a lot of things can happen in people's life, right? One is, one of my biggest goals in life was that you guys can get a college education, and not just college education, a major career, right? So when you all guys gets that, and you are older, and I told my wife, I think the only thing I know is how to take care kids,
Yeah.
So now there is no kids.
Yeah.
Or even though you guys there, but you take care of each other,
it's different.
yourselves, right?
Yeah.
So I start to feel like, like something weird, right? Like, what?
Purpose.
What am I going to do now, I mean, it's my purpose in life now. And that's very awful feeling, right? That then you start to think of that, right? Like, and you start to think that probably life is over, right? I fulfill my goal, and okay, waiting to die now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When is the date?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And especially in society now, right? That people want younger guys, right, to work. And like you said, I think older people have experience, have a lot of knowledge, and I think they can learn. They can learn new things. Like, again, you guys give me opportunity over here. Then after, I think 3 months, I don't know, I think we decided it's going to be 6 months. And after 6 months, we're still in the need. So we're going to go to a year. And after a year, I already, I already learn. And because the worst thing is that you have me here because I am your father, right? That's, I cannot live with that, I have to bring some value. I have to bring some, I have to bring something, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't.
It's not a favor.
No. I don't. In my life, that's something that I really have to, right? I don't like, that kind of situation, right? I want to be useful,
critical, be contributing.
Part of the building, right? Be part of what we are building, and that's why in construction I have crews, I have people working, and I end up helping, and because I always want to be part of
what we're doing.
Okay, let's do it. How I push it, how I can make this thing better, right? So I think when I start to find that I really can add a value, and what I do really is a value for a business, right? So then I decide, okay, you know what? Then I'm going to have to learn now, I mean, what is it? What a CFO, what the responsibilities of a CFO are, right? Okay, it's A, B, C, D. Okay, let's start with A. And I think I kind of fulfill a lot of them, right? But I think, in my life it's mostly for instinct, right? Not professionally.
Right.
I don't want to say professionally.
Yeah, it's like empirical because you've learned it through experience, and then in instinct as well. You have really good instincts, but never like formal training from that end. I think is what you're saying, right?
That's exactly. Then I want to get a formal training, right?
Yeah,
I want to, how you supposed to do things the right way, right? And then when I start to thinking that, then I get excited and, okay, so let's learn something else, But I think especially for people like me that used to work in construction, I mean, we think we are really good with a hammer, give me a hammer. But if there is a pen, what are you going to do with a pen, right?
Yeah.
But find out that, we can learn too,
Yeah.
I just become 57 and feel like I am in the second time, right, of a football game, It's, the first half is over, a lot of experience. Let's adjust. Let's see what we're going to do, I mean, what can you do better, and okay, let's go for the second half,
And that's where the most fun happens.
Yeah, exactly. Now we'll see if we're going to win the game or how we're going to win the game, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's how I feel now. But I think, I went through a lot of emotions in myself to get to this point, right? I think we already have 2 years, right, working together. And now I am, 100%, let's do this thing, I mean, I find a space, I think, and what you guys are building.
What
and
we're building.
And I feel part of it. And, let's do it, like I feel like when I work in construction, and build houses and let's build it, let's do it. And it's exciting. It's very exciting.
I love to hear that. Yeah, and it's like it was after that, like 2-3 months. I remember you telling me. Do you remember this? We were in the car, and you asked, "Hey, like I know this is supposed to be for 2-3, whatever it was, months, but I like to kind of do this period, like moving forward, with no end date, right? I just want to join." And I remember going like, "Yes, got him." But that was really cool, and I'm always remember that drive, and it was here, like we were leaving the parking lot. I think we were gonna go get lunch, and I was like, "Yes, cool, like yeah, awesome, let's do it." And I think one of the things that I was gonna ask you sort of like advice for people that might find themselves in like a similar stage. And I'm going to throw this one out there. You might have something else, but maybe if you can talk to us about this. So I'm telling you the advice, but because of what I've seen in you in this period and throughout your entire life, you've been a learner. You love learning.
Yeah, I love to learn.
Since we were kids, I mean, I remember, since I was a kid, I remember you always had those like audiobooks.
Oh my goodness.
Of, whether it was, business on business, it could be self-improvement, it could be something spiritual, it could be so many different things, but it was always like that's what you listened. You had long commutes to LA and back to the Inland Empire here at Fontana, Rancho Cucamonga, so that's what you'd listen to all the time. But even now, I mean, that's what you just do. And I think we're very much like that. Sharon's very much like that, always reading, listening to stuff. I do the same thing. We're always listening to stuff, right? I feel like listening's been so much easier for me now, but like reading as well. We spend our entire day reading, but it's always learning, right? Is that now as well here is you jumped headlong into this. Like you didn't know anything about the personal injury industry. Now you know so much about it, and more than
a bit more.
Yeah, so much about it, and more than I think many attorneys in the personal injury industry from the business side of things, right? It's been really cool to see. But I think that aspect of you like being a learner is critical here, because then that goes into whether it's the business side, whether it's technology, or whatever it is, you just continue to learn.
Yeah, I think it's since I was young. I think one of the things is, again, I think everything comes from need or dissatisfaction. I didn't like the way we live. I didn't like, the area where we live. I always think there is better, and why I have to live? Why other people can, like, and I see everybody, rare has 2 hands, 2 legs, so why? What's the difference,
Yeah.
Then I find out that the difference is the knowledge. That they know things that I don't know. Then that's why if what you mentioned, right, is that I used to go to the bookstore, Barnes and Nobles and free commercial. it's it's
Sponsors.
no, we are not. So, and I remember that, like you said, I used to drive a lot, so I used to buy books, right? And audiobooks, and I still have a bunch of audiobooks.
Big bins of those.
Now, I am so blessed and so happy that we have everything in our phone, right?
Yeah.
So now I don't even have to go and buy things, I can listen to anything.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is that I think for anybody out there, we can use technology, right, for good or for bad, for entertainment, and it's fun, But I think it's a lot of knowledge in there. I have done things that I haven't imagined, and I just looking for a video how to do,
Yeah.
how to open an engine, which I never have done before. So, okay. So, that they have tutorial, they have so now it's amazing because in my time we didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to learn something, I have to go to find a book. And if you remember too, for example, construction, I used to buy books, like electric, right? Book and see how we do this thing and how we do. So I am a true believer that the only thing we need is a knowledge. What we lack is a knowledge, but the knowledge is available, and we can get the knowledge. Because I feel that a lot of times in my life when I feel freeze that I can do something is because I ignore how to do it. When I don't know if it happened to you, I'm pretty sure, but when I learn how it's done, that's very easy.
Yeah.
That's
It was. Okay, cool. Yeah.
It wasn't really a big deal.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Then I feel, especially, at my age, now I am more inclined to looking for, if I see a situation, and for example, over here, right, I supposed to learn a program, right?
Okay.
Then what I did is go and watch videos, tutorials, and honestly, probably in the beginning I feel like they were speaking in Chinese, right? But eventually, I remember the first
completely different language.
On finance, right? I know numbers, but I don't even know the terms,
Right.
So they are speaking about this, and I was, what is that? I mean, I honestly, I was lost.
Mm-hmm.
But you keep doing and for example, term. Okay, what did it mean? Right? Go and then, okay, that's mean that. So,
I didn't know that was the name, but like I know it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know. Okay, it's this. It's just the name, right? And again, I think we are in the age of information, and it's amazing the information that is available for anything that you want to do, right? Anything that you want to do, there is. If you're looking for it, you find it.
Yeah.
And you just, instead of, keep scrolling to funny videos, right? We're looking for information, and we find it, and just apply it.
Yeah. That's so cool, Dad. What are you looking forward to in these next, 10, 15 years? And what excites you? What excited you about, continuing here? And now, we're all a part of this. Like you said, this is not a favor. This is we're critical. Each one of us is critical to growing this business and doing our part in it. And it doesn't work without the other. And what are you excited about as you look ahead?
Well, I think, like I told you, right? I was feeling empty, honestly. And thank you, Kenny, and thank you, Sharon, for having me over here. I find something else in my life, right? I think work. We all have to work, but I really like to work in something that I like to do. And something that I can put passion, that I can, do the 100%.
Yeah.
my whole ability, right?
Yeah.
Try to improve, try to do better, and I couldn't see it before, right? How am I gonna do that over here, right? But now that I am over here, that I understand more, that now I do, more of the daily basic things, and I am so excited to keep working over here, and the goals, that you have, Kenny, for the firm, and 100%, 100%, 200% in, exciting to reach those goals and to fight for those goals, I feel like when I was young, and I have those dreams and those goals in my life. I feel like they come back, to me, because I felt before I come over here that, that part of my life have died. Like I couldn't find really something. And again, I come over here because I love you guys, and not because I think, I can do this thing, right? But now that I am here, I am so blessed, so exciting. And then I realize it's another change, right? That this is something that I can do for way longer than construction, right? So I see some attorneys, they're
man,
really
decade,
older,
bro. Like,
and they're
still
working.
Kicking it, still doing well, and so this is an old man's game, man.
So that excites me, that okay, so then I feel young again,
Yeah.
So Papi, I'm very excited, and I am again 100% in with you, and let's do this thingy.
Yeah, it's an inside thing. All right, what would you say to someone that is in their like sort of 2.0 stage, and that with this we're gonna wrap up here, is like, what would you say to someone who's in their 2.0 stage and thinking or about starting in a new industry or already doing it, in that transition? What would you tell them?
I think something that it have worked for me really is try to have good attitude. I try to teach you guys, right, that I think any other aptitude or attitude help, but to have a good attitude, to be happy, to be excited, I feel like that multiply anything that you do in life. And just approach life happy, with good attitude. Attitude. With good attitude. I think, life is beautiful. Life is exciting. I'm 57, but I even feel like if I get to, now probably before I was scared to get to 60, right? Now I'm looking forward, because 60, 70, I don't think it's okay. We can just adjust our life and do something different, and be successful in that too. Right? Yeah. It's not such a thing, I think we all think, at a certain age we have to retire, and I think that's not true really. I think work is actually what gives us life, gives us meaning, and especially if we do something that we love, it doesn't matter how old are you, you can do. Most of the people that become millionaires or billionaires after 50 years, it's 50, 60s. So that's exciting, right?
Yeah. There's
still
a lot of game.
Yeah, there's still a lot to do, and if we're still here, then there's still things to do for us.
Yeah, awesome, Dad. Thank you so much, Dad, for the time that you've given us. Obviously, for the time you give us, that you work with us, and that we're all in this together here at the farm. And thank you for the time here on the episode of Art of Purpose. It's been so cool to be able to chat with the lights on, the camera on, but it's just a conversation that you and I would just have as we're just talking in the car or wherever. So thank you, Dad. Love you, and thank you for joining us.
No, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure for me to be part of anything that you guys do. I'm so blessed to be here.
Thank you, Dad. And to everyone listening, thank you so much for joining us, for hanging out with my dad and myself, and just a conversation If you found this episode helpful, encouraging, inspiring, I'm going to ask you to share that with friends, with family, anyone who you think would love to hear this man's story and his words of advice. I always tell people, man, if you could become friends with my dad, like, do it, because it will change your life. He's been the best. God's greatest gift for me has been my parents, and man, you know, just be listening for my dad and the advice that he has, the attitude, the positive attitude, the encouragement. It's just a boon to your life. So I hope this episode and his words were and have uplifted you, even if it's a moment of difficulty. And if you're doing well and you want some more encouragement, may this one continue to push you along in your journey. Thank you all. See you on the next episode of Art of Purpose.